Have you ever felt like a part of you went missing long ago? Like you're living, smiling, doing all the right things, but something deep inside still hurts? You can't quite name it, but it lingers. In your thoughts, in your patterns, in your relationships. Carl Jung once said, "There's no coming to consciousness without pain." He believed that our deepest emotional wounds, the ones we try so hard to forget, are not just scars. They're messages from the parts of ourselves we've abandoned. So, if you've ever wondered why you repeat the same emotional cycles, why healing feels like one step forward and two steps back, stay with me. Because in this video, we'll explore the 7 levels of emotional trauma healing through the lens of Jungian psychology. And I promise, by the end, you'll see your pain in a completely new light. So take a deep breath, make sure you subscribe, and stay until the end. This might be one of the most healing journeys you'll ever take. Level 1 awareness, the awakening. Every healing journey begins here, awareness. This is the moment you stop running from your pain and finally turn around to face it. Maybe it comes after heartbreak, loss, or a mental breakdown. Maybe it comes quietly, like a whisper saying, something has to change. At this level, you begin to notice your patterns. You realize your reactions aren't random. They're rooted. You start to see how your past shapes your present, how your childhood still echoes in your adult relationships. It's uncomfortable. You feel raw, exposed, maybe even ashamed. But this discomfort is not a setback. It's the beginning of freedom. Carl Jung called this the call to individuation, the moment the unconscious begins to demand your attention. It's your soul's way of saying, wake up. It's time to come home to yourself. So if you're feeling that pull, that strange, painful awareness, don't run from it. You're already healing. Stay with it and stay with me, because it goes much deeper. Level 2 acknowledgement, the mirror of pain. Once you see your pain, the next level is to acknowledge it, without denial, without sugarcoating. This is when you stop pretending you're fine. You stop numbing yourself with distractions, overworking, or people-pleasing. You finally say, yes, I was hurt. Yes, it mattered. And it's not easy. Your mind will try to pull you back. Don't think about it. Just move on. But ignoring pain doesn't heal it. It buries it deeper. Jung believed that what we repress doesn't disappear. It lives in the shadow, the part of the psyche that stores everything we can't face. Every unspoken truth, every suppressed tear, every moment we swallowed our feelings, it all waits there. And acknowledgement is like opening that hidden door. You might cry, you might rage, you might feel like you're falling apart. But in truth, you're falling into yourself. So if this part hurts, stay. Don't click away. Healing happens right here. And if this resonates, remember to subscribe. This channel is for you, for every soul learning to face their own shadow with courage. Level 3, expression, giving voice to the silent self. At this level, something powerful begins to happen. You stop suppressing and start expressing. Maybe you start journaling, painting, crying, or simply admitting your truth to someone safe. You begin to give your inner pain a voice. Jung believed the unconscious communicates through symbols and emotion, not logic. So expression isn't about explaining. It's about releasing. You might find old memories rising up. You might feel anger you never knew existed, or sadness you thought was long gone. But instead of pushing it away, you let it move through you. Say softly, every emotion I feel is energy I be freed. This is where many people stop healing, because expression can feel messy, chaotic, even embarrassing. But remember, suppression built your suffering. Expression sets you free. If you're watching this and you've ever been afraid to cry, scream, or admit what you feel, this is your permission. Because every time you allow your truth to surface, your soul exhales. Level 4, confrontation, meeting the shadow. Here lies one of the hardest, but most transformative stages. You meet your shadow, the collection of everything you've denied, rejected, or hidden. This is where Jung's wisdom truly comes alive. He said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. At this level, you begin to see your patterns more clearly. Your self-sabotage, your jealousy, your fear of abandonment. It's not about blaming yourself. It's about realizing that every reaction you judge has roots in pain that was never held. You start to see that your anger hides sadness. Your control hides fear. Your perfectionism hides shame. It's humbling, but also liberating. Because for the first time, you understand why you are the way you are. Don't rush this part. The shadow doesn't need to be defeated. It needs to be heard. Listen to it. Talk to it. Ask, what are you trying to show me? Stay until the end. Because what comes after this level is where true transformation begins. Level 5, compassion. Reparenting the wounded child. Beneath the shadow, Jung said, lives the inner child, the small, tender self that first experienced pain, neglect, or fear. This is the part of you that still trembles when someone raises their voice. The part that seeks love, validation, and safety. The part you've spent years trying to silence. At this stage, you stop abandoning that child. You begin to listen. You start to speak softly to yourself. It's okay. You're safe now. You didn't deserve that. This is reparenting, becoming the nurturing, patient, protective presence your younger self always needed. You may feel grief for the childhood you didn't have, for the care you never received. But in that grief, something miraculous happens. Love returns. Self-forgiveness blooms. And suddenly, the voice inside you changes. It becomes gentler, kinder, warmer. So if your healing feels slow, don't lose heart. You're not falling behind. You're reuniting with the most precious part of your soul. And if you're still watching, you're doing something extraordinary. You're staying present with yourself. That's courage. That's healing. Level 6, integration. Becoming whole again. This is where all the previous stages begin to merge: awareness, expression, compassion, and form something beautiful. Wholeness. Integration doesn't mean the pain disappears. It means it finally finds its place within your story. You stop running from your darkness. You begin to walk beside it. You realize that you can be both strong and scared, kind and angry, peaceful and passionate. Jung said that healing is not about perfection. It's about wholeness. It's a moment you no longer divide yourself into good and bad. You understand that every emotion, every flaw, every scar has value. At this stage, you start to live differently. You respond instead of react. You choose instead of chase. You love without losing yourself. You become rooted, grounded in self-awareness, yet open to growth. And this is where healing starts to feel like peace. Not the absence of pain, but the presence of acceptance. So don't stop now. The final level will show you how all of this transforms your very way of being. Level 7, transcendence. The alchemy of the soul. This is the highest level of emotional trauma healing, transcendence. It's where your pain turns into wisdom. Carl Jung compared healing to alchemy, transforming base metal into gold. But the real alchemy, he said, happens inside the human soul. At this level, you no longer identify with your wounds. You see them as sacred teachers. You realize that every heartbreak, every betrayal, every dark night, all of it was shaping you into someone more authentic, more compassionate, more awake. You understand that life didn't happen to you. It happened for you, not as punishment, but as preparation. This is the level where gratitude replaces resentment, peace replaces blame, and love, deep, steady love, replaces fear. You begin to trust life again. You feel connected to yourself, to others, to something greater. And you see that healing was never about getting over it. It was about remembering who you were before the world taught you to forget. So as this journey closes, I want to remind you of something. You are not broken. You are becoming whole. Your pain is not your prison. It's your passage. And if this video helped you see even a little bit of light in your own darkness, don't forget to subscribe. Because this space is here for you, for your growth, your healing, your becoming. Stay until the very end of your healing journey, because that's where you'll finally meet the person you were always meant to be. Soft music swells, fading into gentle light. The wound is the place where light enters you. Carl Jung, before we end, take a moment to breathe. You've just walked through the 7 levels of emotional healing, not just with your mind, but with your heart. And maybe you're realizing now, healing was never about forgetting the pain. It's about learning to live with it, gently, consciously, with love. Carl Jung once wrote, "There's no coming to consciousness without pain." Because every time we face what hurts, we wake up a little more. Every shadow we embrace brings us closer to our light. You are not broken. You are unfolding. Every scar you carry is a doorway back to your strength. Every tear you've shed has watered the roots of who you are becoming. So be patient with yourself. Healing isn't a straight line, it's a spiral. You'll revisit old wounds, but each time you'll bring more light, more wisdom, more compassion. And if no one has told you this lately, you are doing so well. The fact that you're still here, still watching, still searching for meaning, that's courage. That's growth. That's love. If this journey touched your heart, don't forget to subscribe. Not just to this channel, but to your own healing. Because your story matters. Your pain has purpose. And your light, the one born through all you've endured, it's what the world needs now. So keep walking your path. Keep becoming who you truly are. And remember, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. But now you're awake.